Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What you're about to see is another special athlete interview, this time with one of my absolute favorites, Ange Napolitano. Ange was a former World Cup shooting star. She's now at the University of Clemson in South Carolina, cheering there. And we talk all about her journey in cheer, and we really get into the tricky transition she had to make from being a flyer to being on the ground and basing, and now actually backspotting in college. And of course, she gives her advice to any athlete trying to get to the top of the sport. So hopefully you like the video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share it, put your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think, and enjoy the video. All right, hi Ange.
Hi, Aunt.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I mean, just for catching up with me, really. It's been way too long. So tell the people watching, if they don't already know, who you are and your background in cheer and all that good stuff.
Hi, I'm Angela Napolitano. I'm 19 years old. I started my cheer career at a small gym in New Jersey, and at one point I grew out of it and I went to World Cup, and I ended up making Suns when I was 12, which was a world's team. And I was on Omni the 2 years following, and then I made Shooting Stars when I was a sophomore in high school. I was on the team for 3 years. I've won the World Championships twice, and I also have a silver medal from the World Championships. I was captain of Shooting Stars my senior year, and I'm currently on Clemson's all-girl cheerleading team.
Nice. So that's a pretty good record by anybody's standards. So, I mean, other than being coached by me, obviously, what are the real highlights of that career?
Yeah, honestly, like getting just the experience to be coached by so many different people and different mindsets and like views on cheerleading, because every coach's brain thinks differently, and even when you're at that level of cheerleading, a lot of the athletes have their own input, so it's like great to see how everyone's mind works differently and sees like different views of cheerleading.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna get into a question with you. Now, you and I have a ton of good memories.
We
Let's be
do.
honest. We had some good times. But we're going to talk about what's maybe the one standout difficult memory. I'm not going to call it a bad memory, but definitely a difficult time, which I want you to talk about because I think a lot of people are going to relate to this, and it's an important thing to tell. So, when I first met you, you were a teeny tiny little flyer, and you'd always been a flyer, and you were a flyer for me for a couple of years as well. And then there came that point that comes for a lot of people where we had to talk about not flying anymore and changing your position, which I won't over talk it for you. I mean, I just want you to talk a little bit about that experience, kind of how you dealt with that, how you felt about it, and how you were able to to move forward from it.
So I think I was a freshman in high school, and I
Yeah,
was on
probably.
Omni, and the previous season I was a flyer. I was center flyer for Omni, and I've always flew my entire life, like just knew nothing other than that. And Anthony came up to me one day and was like, "Hey, so what do you think about basing?" And at first I was so against it. I was like, "No, not happening. I'm flying." My mom was really for me basing. She was like working in cahoots with Anthony.
Yeah, that was definitely helpful.
Yeah. And they kind of just let me fly for like 2 weeks to like appease me, I guess. And all the coaches were coming up to me, they're like, "No, we think you should start basing." And like it just got to the point where like I realized that like what was best for the team and best for my career at this point, and like to get myself like further like ahead, was to learn how to base. And I was at that point, I was going into high school, I was growing, like I was 5'5" at the time. Like I shouldn't have been in the air. But it was what was best for the team, and once I realized that, I was okay with the decision, and I actually liked basing more anyways. It was less stressful and I was able to focus more on myself and the routine.
Yeah, I think you make it sound like I was just really mean in that situation. I'm sure it
No,
wasn't just me.
you weren't, no, you weren't mean at all. You just said you just suggested it and I wasn't for the suggestion for a couple of
A
weeks.
gradual process of yeah, getting that to sit with you. Um, but yeah, I mean, I know from my side of that, a lot of it was thinking ahead for you, and like you say, the best thing for your future in the sport and your ongoing career. And I remember having that conversation with you of, my goal for you was for you to make shooting stars, um, and that I couldn't see that happening for you unless you came down and based, and that was where if that was where you wanted to go, that's what we needed to do. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just think it's such a tough situation that a lot of people face. And I know it was tough for you at the time, but you dealt with that so well, and you're such a good success story from that.
Thank you. Yeah. It helps in college, like, now, like, learning, like, versatility is so important on like, to make a college cheer team or, like, to be involved in college cheerleading because I'm a back spot now. Like, I went from flying to main basing to side basing on shooting stars to now being a back spot
So you've
for
done
our team.
everything.
Yeah, so this is, like, because it's what, like, we need and what's best for the team, but going from flying to basing isn't that big of a deal, like, you can always fly again in college, but it's also good to know how to base when you're in college too, so
Yeah, I agree. I think the more you know about every other position, regardless of what you do, helps with whatever else you're doing. All right. Well, just one more question, and it's one I'm asking everybody when we're doing this. Um, one piece of advice that you would give to an athlete who wants to reach the top of the sport, as someone who's really done that.
I would just say, like, let your passion drive you, like, for the sport. Like, your love, your passion for the sport, let it be the reason that you work hard every day. Believe in yourself, like, I mean, there's times where I thought I hated it and I didn't wanna be there, but at the end of the day, I thought and I knew deep down in my heart I loved being there. I was in the gym every single day growing up, like, I was always there, like, everyone saw me every minute, probably got old of seeing me, but just let your passion for the sport drive you and it'll keep you going, and when you're in pain and hurting, like, it's gonna keep pushing you, so, yeah.
It's good advice. Cool. Well, thank you so much, and appreciate your time. I know you're busy and studying and everything else right now, and balancing cheer and all of that stuff. So, thanks for taking a few minutes for me. I really appreciate it.